How's it going, y'all? Ricky Rooster here with another video, and today I'm going to be installing fog lights on my Prelude. For quite a long time, one of the most, well, not one of the most things, but one of the small things I've really always wanted were fog lights. But I mean, I can never really afford them. They're like over 250, 150, and sometimes they don't even come with, the fog lights. They just sell you the bezels for 150, which I think is outrageous. But one big solution that I did find was, let me see if I can get this box opened. Buying Honda 92, 95 Honda Civic fog lights. Of course, the bezel is going to be different, but what matters is this right here. And the bracket, of course, you're going to have to do some slight modifications. But the bezels right here is what you need to get. Look at that. This is actually 3D printed. The person who does this is originprintshop. Originprintshop, thank you so much for the sponsorship. In my opinion, I believe these are very, very well made. They look really good. I mean, I've never really seen the bezels from the factory, but from the way they look, I mean, I put them right in my bumper. They fit amazing. They look very, very good. They're kind of soft, but I guess that's like the flexibility it's got to have or whatnot. And the 3D lines it has doesn't really bother me. I mean, from a distance, you're not even going to see it. It's going to be at the bottom anyways. I mean, overall, they're amazing. They're really sturdy. I really like them. And I can't wait to put these on, really. I'm very, very stoked. Look at that. Come on, you cannot tell me that is not one sexy looking bezel for the fog lights. And like I mentioned earlier, you can see the lines, but who cares? I mean, ain't nobody gonna peek down there and look at the details of the bezels. Jesus Christ, look at that. That is wonderful. Like I said, it's got some flexibility, but it's not really bad. I mean, it's still really tough. It's gonna take a bit to break that, but don't overdo it or it will happen. But I mean, once again, originprintshop sells these. You can pick them up. They're about $40. I'll see if I can put the link in the description. But that's it right there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take off the bumper, which is pretty easy. Just take off those clips. Well, I don't have them, I already took them off, but you have to take off one of those clips. You have a Phillips on that nostril and one there as well. Take those off. Once you got those off, in my case, well, it should be an airy, but you're gonna have one nut right there, which would be the crash bar, one right there, and one right here. And if you had the battery, which I relocated, but if you had the battery there, you might have to take off the bracket, or if you can somehow maneuver it, take that off. But this one's a 12, this one's a 13. I don't know if for you guys it's gonna be the same way. Something else you're gonna have to do is, I mean, if you had a screw, unscrew it. Obviously, in my case, down here, I only have zip ties. Right there, can you see it now? Right there, I got zip ties. I mean, I gotta put some quick releases, but that's gonna be another small project for me. But right there at this point, after taking off the screws and the nuts, and if you had screws in here, like I said, in my case, got zip ties. Once you got all that off, it should come out just like that. All right, let me get it out now. I actually forgot to mention, you also have these corner lights down here, which is only takes two screws. You have a Phillips right in here, and then you have another one way deep inside there. You can't really see, I don't have much lighting, but there's a screw right in there holding this light. So once you got this side out and that one, disconnect the sockets from the lights, and now you should be able to take off the bumper. In case you're wondering how these corner lights come off, it's pretty simple. If you can't reach down here, pop it. Let's see. Oh, this one just slides out. This one's the same case, but you need to pop it out some right there, and it slides right out. This right here, these little legs, what holds the lights into the bumper. I went ahead and took up the crash bar because it's kind of ugly because of the rust spot, so I'm going to give it a quick touch up of paint. Should be just 3 clips on each side. There you go, once again. And over here is the rear back part of the bumper, and so far what I'm seeing for the fog lights, you can hardly see it, but it's got like a couple dots or lines indicating where you need to cut it for the fog lights, and you can even see it on this side as well. I mean, I've looked up and searched how to put these on. There's not even a single video. There isn't much help online, so I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm probably not gonna put them on the right way, but I mean, like I said, I've never done this, so I'm gonna give it a try and see how it turns out. One more thing you're gonna have to take off, if you have a front lip, obviously, take off the front lip, because of these, they don't have any specific kind of shape for the front lip, but instead you're gonna have to do a couple cuts on this side of the front lip, because as you can see, that's where the fog lights go in. But I will figure that out once I actually put them on. I don't think, let me see, I might just have to cut from here right there and just keep it going with this line. But where I put my front lip is right down there. One screw in here, there, and on the other side, same place where I put that one. So let me take that off. That right there is what the bumper looks like with the bezels. Now, like I mentioned earlier, in the back it's got some like some lines indicating where you should cut. I think that's what it's for. In this case, what I'm gonna do is mark the inside right here and just cut right there to see how it goes on. If I see something's not going on right, I will go ahead and cut the rest where I'll see the other lines, and from there, you know, do what I gotta do and stuff. But I think it looks pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's got a perfect fit. It's amazing. I mean, I like it. Alright, so as I mentioned to you guys, these fog lights that I got are for a 92 through 95 Honda Civic. I got them on eBay for about $50. So they're not going to be an exact fit onto the 92, 96 Prelude. So what I got to do here is a bit of somewhat of a fabrication, I guess you could say, modification. towards where I have to cut this and add an extension of that right there, and then weld this piece on here just like so, and give it that bend so where it can reach the fog light bezel and it can screw on there so it can be tight. So I got to do it to both of them. As you can see, I already got them cut, already got them grinded down. That right there is where I got to do my weld. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that, go back, take a look, see if it worked, and if it doesn't work, then I got to repeat the process and try something different. So here it goes. Right, so I raised up the amperage and the wire speed just a tiny bit because, if you saw in the first clip, it was looking kind of ugly. I went ahead and did another pass, which is still too big, but now I gotta weld this other piece. Oh, fire. What y'all think? I don't think it's too bad, actually. I think it's alright. But let me know what y'all think. Alright, so this is actually day 2 of doing this. So after I welded those metal pieces I mentioned in the last clip, they actually turned out a bit too long. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut it right there and re-weld it back. Hopefully by the time I do all that, it should already fit somewhat. But let me go ahead and cut that real quick and re-weld it. Alright, back at it again with another weld. So here it goes. Nope. Nope. Little too far. Little too far. Oh my god, what's happened to me? Oh, it's getting kind of windy out here. Oh yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah. Alright, so I probably should have put this on clip, but like I said, I've already tested it out, and this does actually meet up with the bezel. Now what I have to do is, which I already did, the bracket here is for, you know, to mount onto the bumper, but what I just need to do is put it further, which I mean right there is exactly where it has to go. And then this little buddy right here was right here, but I just have to go down a little bit, probably about right there, and the bezel would also screw onto there. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this together, give it another try, and show you, show you the progress on the bumper. Alright, little change of plans. I'm actually going to use this one instead because these actually match up with the holes on the bumper. Just have to cut it to the right distance and weld it onto the bracket. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright you guys, there it is. Like I said, I'm gonna use this one, and I already did my cut. Leave a bit of an angle just for it to reach, but it's gonna go right there. So once I weld it right there, I will show you exactly what I did over there in the bumper, and I'll show you how this will fit. So let me go ahead and get this welded. Put on my gloves, my helmet. I don't pick the stone. Alright, you guys, so that is the fog light already screwed down to the bumper. As you can see, that's where I mentioned where I bolted down, and one down there. Now what I'm finishing up here is for the cover to screw on there. Well, it's got this little block right here that goes into this right here, but the bumper is pushing that bracket off. And what I'm gonna do for that one, for this right here to hold on, I'm just gonna put one of these clips on there, same as I put for the corner lights. So I'm gonna put that there, finish up what I'm doing here, and I will show you what the fog light looks already on the bumper with the bezel. So let me get that finished, and here we go. Fellas, that's it right there. Oh my god, that looks beautiful. Jesus Christ, look at that. I mean, in the back, it don't really look the best, but I mean, it's gonna hold on there. Really, look at that. That's gonna hold on there. That's the clip that I was talking about that I put in there. And there's a hole I made for that little square piece to go in. You can't even, no, you can barely see some. But see, it's kind of flush with this plastic. But that's it right there, you guys. That is one fog light in. I have to repeat the process with this bracket, but it's gonna be somewhat the opposite way, obviously, because it's the other side. But do the same thing with this bracket, weld it, all that stuff, and put on the bezel. Of course, I'm going to paint it a little bit because I don't want it to rust. So after I have all that done, I'll paint, and after this, I have to go do the wiring. Wiring should be pretty self-explanatory. It's not too hard. I will walk you through how I'm going to do it. Might not be the best way, but I will show you. Alright, you guys, so fog light's already been installed and everything on the driver and the passenger side, and like I mentioned to you in the video, I had to cut the front lip just for that, not to touch the bezel. But look at that. That is wonderful. I still have to do the wiring and adjust the bumper and whatnot. And one more thing, it does have a very tight fit. As you can see right there, there's the fog light, and there is, where is it at? Come on. Can't see it much, but it's right down there. Like I said, it has a very tight fit, but it's on there. It doesn't touch the chassis or anything. So let me go ahead and do the wiring, and I'll show you how it goes. Alright guys, so in the kit of the fog lights, it gives you all the wiring, you know, the relays, the sockets. It gives you all the hardware for it. But since I'm converting and putting it in my Prelude, things might be a bit different. I don't know whether I'm putting it on the dash or whether I'm going to put it on the cluster. The center console. But that's it right there. And I already got the wire connected onto the fog lights, which in my opinion I think it's a bit too long, but that's probably just how it has to be. I'll probably cut it, stick it back together, or twist it and hide it somewhere. I'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna explain to you how to put the wiring in there, how, you know, where you have to plug it in. A lot of people put it in their battery, Well, mine's in the back. A lot of people put it in their battery. That's not how I like to do it. I rather put it where the fuses go. So I'll show you which one goes where and how you check where it goes. So while you're doing this, one of the main things you're really gonna need is a very good ground for your lights to work. So what I'm doing here, stripping the wire just a little bit, get enough of the wire coming out, and I'm putting one of these ends. I'm gonna find it. Well, I already found a good ground. I'm actually gonna put it down here. And in the kit, they give you a little bit of hardware. That's just regular 10mm. I'm just gonna put it right in there. Obviously, you have to shave off some of that paint, either scrape it or sand it. In this case, I'm just going to scrape it off with a blade. Right, just put your wire in there. And that was. Alright, once that ground was connected, I went ahead and plugged in the blue wire with the other blue wire that the harness comes with. And that is where the whole process begins of working on the wiring. This right here, this whole wire, I have to run it over here and somewhat find a place where I can, well, I think I already found the place actually. Right through there, should be able to run the wire. And then this other wiring comes to place. This is the one that goes inside. This is the switch I bought off it on eBay, because the one that it comes with is for obviously the EG Civic, which is that one. And that is not going to work for me, so I bought this one. Alright guys, so here's the fun part of working on the wiring for the fog lights. Of course, here's the whole wiring. This is everything you're going to need. One more thing you're going to need, obviously, is a test light. That is really, as far as I know, that's really all you're going to need. So in a Prelude, you got your fuse box down here. Come on, there you go. Just twist that little tab. Just twist that little tab and it comes right off. So what you're gonna need to do, let me get some lighting. What you're gonna need to do is find the fuse that has power while you have the switch in, and you have to find one that is hot all times. At least that's what I've been told. And I'm gonna go ahead and test that out real quick. And just get you a pretty good ground for the test light. Let's see, I think right there is all right. And we're going to look which fuse has power with the switch. So this one doesn't. Let's see the one before it. The one before it doesn't either. That one doesn't. Next one. Oh, there you go. That one. That one right there has power with the switch. Well, let me test that out. Let me go and disconnect the switch. It's the first 10. Let me go and take off the key and see if that's true. So, it's off. Let's see. And there you go. There's your proof that that is the one you're going to need for the switch. So that's it right there. And now what I'm going to look for is one that is hot all times. So let's see. The one next to it isn't. That one's not. That one isn't. Oh, there you go. There you go. That one is hot all times. It's got power all the time. And that one is actually a 30. So we're going to use this one right here, the first one, and a 30. Perfect. Alright, so the way that I'm going to do this, I already have the fuses pulled out, obviously. But the way I'm going to do this is the red wire. This red wire, I'm going to put it with the fuse that is with the switch. And the yellow wire that it comes with, I'm going to put with the fuse that is hot all times. I usually just peel off some more of that insulation and wrap it around the fuse, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I did it to my sister's Honda Civic, and it worked perfectly. So I'm going to do the same process on this one and plug it in. Once I do that, the next step would be finding a good ground inside here somewhere. And I think I have a pretty good idea up there, the steering column. That looks like a pretty good place to put the ground. And then the rest would be just finding a good place to put the relay and that fuse right there. So I'm going to get that done and show you how it turns out. Alright, just like that is how you wrap the wire onto the fuse. You could do the same thing with that other yellow wire onto the fuse right over there. Just, you know, it's a simple process, do the same thing. Once you got your fuses back in place with the wire right there, you can just, you know, put that lid back on there. Slide it just like that. Oh, and my light just died. There you go. Just slide it in there, just like so. Snap back on, and pretend like nothing happened. Alright, fellas. So, this wire right here, let me flip the camera right. This wire right here, like I said earlier, I'm going to be passing through that hole right up there. But obviously I gotta go on top of all that, the clutch and everything, the pedals, because I don't want to smash anything. So once you get that done, well, once I get all this done, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh come on, why are you messing up on me? Keep in mind, you guys, I'm pretty big. I'm not a skinny person, so fitting under here is not fun for me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not going through. Well, I'm gonna just have to run it over here instead. So yeah, I'm just gonna run it over here, the steering column. There you go. Now it's actually sticking out. Get that through. Over. Sí. ¿Cómo que por qué está puesto? Desconecté todo, pero ahí voy. Sorry guys, that was my dad. And yes, I do speak Spanish. Alright. Okay, so the wire's already been ran through the firewall. And now it's left for me to do is organize the wiring and also just find the perfect ground for the wire in the inside. That's really all I gotta do. Actually no, I forgot one detail. I also have to find out where to put the switch. I'm gonna have to extend the wire because it's too short where I want it, but it should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. One more. Okay, so what I was thinking is I'm gonna run it through here, right here, maybe through here, or I might just go around. And this is the other end. Ooh, that's a lot of wire. I'll figure something out. I'll show you how it turns out. Alright, like you guys saw, the wire was way too long for what I needed, so I went ahead and just cut it a bit longer than distance I really needed. And luckily I had some of these in my toolbox. Let me show you what they're called. Here it is. Luckily I had some of those, so I'm gonna go ahead and crimp this onto the wire, and I should be able to put the insulation over. I mean, now that's a bit shorter, so now I gotta cut some more of that, but that's something I really need to do. That was way too much wire. Alright guys, so I went in and fixed that problem with the wire that was too long. So actually I think I found a pretty good ground, which is right there. You just gotta get a nut and put it on there. It should be good to go. And now I just gotta fix all this right here and work on my switch, because I still have to find out where exactly I want to put it and whether or not I have to extend it. More likely, because the way I want to put it, I'm gonna have to extend it. But if not, I guess I'm just gonna put it here, right there. I mean, I no longer have cruise control, so I'm going to take that off and just put it, the switch, which is right down there. I'm just going to put it on there. Now, guys, so I went ahead and just decided I'm just going to put the switch right there. Like I mentioned, there's not, I mean, I don't have cruise control no more. That thing's gone. And right now, for me to start pulling stuff off and cutting, soldering, I mean, it's almost 6 o'clock. It's getting dark and cold, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just put it right there. This should just come off, I think. Just swaying a little bit. Oops, I broke that one right there. Yep, that's not good. Done broke it. Oh, look at that. See, like I said, nothing's connected there. And I should be able to put the switch there. Huh. I don't know. Let's see. That's a pretty big block. I don't know, folks. I don't know if I'll be able to put it here. Let's see. Should just come off. If not. Alright, let's see. Don't tell me they're... Yo. Okay, there he goes. Don't tell me you have to get a thinner screwdriver. Yep, you gotta get something smaller. Alright, here we go again. So, let's see. There you go. Oh, so yeah, it was a screwdriver the whole time. This just comes off. Should be 4 screws for this one. I mean, I don't know where you guys are gonna put your fog lights, but I decided I'm gonna go ahead and put mine here. The switch better fit in there. If not, I'm gonna have to find a different way to put it. This is completely off. Okay. Man, you know what? I'm strolling because I want to, honestly. There you go. Just take that thing off. I better not forget which one goes where. Hey, look at that. It's also a 5-pin. Now, the original... I mean, I have the original switch for the fog lights. The only problem is I don't have the wiring for it. This card doesn't come with the wiring harness already in it. And I had to buy another switch, and obviously it's a 5-pin, or I mean it's just like that one, somewhat like that one. So I had to buy one off eBay, like I showed you earlier. Let's see. This should come off. Look at that. Which is the right way? Look at that. It's not gonna work for me. Well, actually, I have a different idea. What if I... Let's see. If that don't work for me, maybe this will. Nope, don't work for me. Alright, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. This does not work for it. What I might just do... Those are two different, completely different sockets. I need both of these. Well, I'm gonna have to figure something out. As you guys saw, the fog lights are already installed. It was actually a pretty long process for me because it's the first time I do this, and I had to do some slight fabrication, I guess you can say. But I mean, the fog lights are there, obviously, and they're not really too bright, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously it's daylight, but that's them right there. I think they look pretty sick, honestly. And as for the switch, I actually have to find a different place for it because I put it into place for the cruise control, and I mean, I no longer have cruise control, but if you can see, look at that, it's loose. I mean, it works and all, everything works and all, it's just, ooh, it's pretty windy. It's just, I mean, doesn't quite fit in there. So I was explaining the wiring on this thing and how I hooked it up to 2 fuses. What I actually did was actually ran with 2 fuses that went along with the switch. In other words, whenever the switch is off, there's no power on the fuse, but whenever the switch is on, there is power on the fuse. So I corrected myself on that, luckily just on time, because when I first had it connected that way, the switch for the fog lights was on constantly, would never turn off. So I fixed that. As you can see, they're off now, but I mean, that looks really good in my opinion. It looks really good. So if you guys are looking to install fog lights on your 4th gen Honda Prelude, you know, go to Origin Print Shop. He will have the bezels for you. I mean, on top of that, he also has the cup holder, which I might get pretty soon because mine is broken. That's an issue for, I'd say, all the 4th gen Preludes. But once again, Origin Print Shop has the fog light bezels, and I got the actual fog lights from eBay from a 92, 95 Honda Civic. The wiring, I mean, like I showed you guys, pretty simple to plug in and everything. You know, you have to find out what fuse to put it in, which is pretty simple. But I mean, other than that, I didn't spend much money, honestly. It was pretty cheap compared to what, you know, other people sell it. You know, they have it 150 to 100. They don't even come with the wiring harness. So that's it right there. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. And make sure, if you want to do this, make sure to go to originprintshop.com. He will have everything, not everything. He will have the bezels you'll need, obviously, and eBay will have the fog lights. But if you watched, you know, appreciate it. Give it a like, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video.